Hi everybody, and welcome back to Borderlines today. So it's just gone 7 o'clock in the evening. It's been a long day here on the Isle of Wight. I've been really busy today. Okay, but I thought I'd do this video because I got invited to Dinosaur Isle in conjunction with the newspaper that we run as well, which is Apner News. And this came about because Isle of Wight Council sent me a press release a couple of weeks ago, and in regards to that Dinosaur Isle have replaced their roof, so they've had a new roof done on. So I started talking to them about coming over, have a look around, and then basically talk about it, you know, get a bit of publicity and everything. So took my wife, took my kids, took my disabled daughter over, and we thought, right, let's go and have a proper look, give it a proper review, you know, speak to the staff, what's it like. Now, the one thing that I will say about this place, and I spoke to two dinosaur experts, okay, and somebody who specialises in rocks. Okay, and I spoke to them today at length, and they spoke to one of my kids. And one of the things when it comes to this place, because some dinosaur museums, they will have, you know, say for instance, they may have T-Rexes, or they may have Diplodocus, or Brachiosaurus, you know, the ones that are going to be in the Jurassic Park films, Triceratops, all of those. They're not relevant to around here. Okay, the Dinosaur Isle is on the Isle of Wight, so a lot of the dinosaurs that they actually have there, and they do have quite a few fossils there, okay, are relevant to our land around the Isle of Wight and the UK. Okay, they're not quite so concerned about the dinosaurs that you get in other parts of the world. That's not to say that they don't have them, you know, because they do. They have fossils. You know, they showed me one particular one. I think it was a Spinosaurus or something like that. If I had my son, he'd be able to tell you exactly what it was. Okay, which was comes from Africa. Okay, so it was really interesting, to say the least, especially if you're more concerned with what's gone on in our waters and everything. So a lot of the dinosaurs come from basically the late Cretaceous period. Okay, that's where a lot of the fossils that they have. And it's like, one of the questions I said to him was, if you live in the UK and you want to go looking for fossils or dinosaur bones, whatever you want to call it, okay, where'd you go? Because most people aren't going to want to go to America or Africa to try and find them. Where can you actually go? And this is a kind of a question, but I already knew the answer to, because me personally, okay, Apner News, okay, that's based in Leon Solar. Even though we cover a massive area, you know, we cover through Hampshire, East and West Sussex, Dorset, Wiltshire, Berkshire, Surrey, London, and Buckinghamshire, and a bit, and we do cover now and then Oxfordshire and North Yorkshire and West Yorkshire. That is a bit of a list. Okay, so we cover all of that. Okay, so I said to him, where can you go? And this is what he said to me. So, if you want to go and find dinosaur bones, so the easiest thing to do is go across the Jurassic Coast. So, the Jurassic Coast, for those that don't know where it is the Isle of Wight. Okay, you can go across the Isle, most of the Isle of Wight, you know, on the coastal bits, and you'll be able to find stuff. You can go across Dorset, the Dorset coast, and you will find dinosaur footprints and you'll also find a lot of teeth, as in shark teeth specifically. Okay, because types of dinosaur sharks were quite proficient across our coastline. Okay, and that goes into Hampshire. So if you take, for instance, where I live, okay, quite proficient for finding shark. You know, I could literally go down to my beach, about 10 minutes walk from my house. You know, if I was to decide to walk through the shingle, I will find shark teeth. Okay, it's not difficult to do. Okay, and that goes all the way up to East Sussex, all the way up through to Hastings. Okay, and then you can go around to East Anglia and you'll find the same kind of thing. So if you're a kid and you want to go hunting, or if you're an adult and you've got young children, you want to take them hunting for fossils and dinosaur bones, that's all you got to do. Go onto the beach, you know, a decent beach at the end of the day on the south coast, and you will be able to find shark teeth. Okay, and when I talk about shark teeth, I'm not talking about modern day sharks, you know, like your great whites or anything like that. I'm on about prehistoric sharks which have been dead for thousands of years at the end of the day. So that's another thing that we learnt today, you know. So what do I actually think of the museum? Now the reality is it's a really good museum, because the staff there, you know, the likes of the paleontologists, okay, I've always got time. You want to ask them a question, they will answer it. Trust me, they will. And they will speak for ages. I think my 10-year-old son, he was with them for about half an hour, you know, gassing about dinosaurs. And they even got books out for him. So, at the end of the day, you can't knock that. You know, if you're going somewhere, and unlike most museums where it's, you know, got a few exhibits, they have a bit of writing, they may do something which may engage you. As a general rule, for kids, it's boring. It is dead boring, you know, because it's like I said to my wife, because obviously we're on the Isle of Wight at the moment. Okay, as you can see, the caravan behind me. How many kids are going to want to go to Osborne House? Really? They're going to find it dull and dead boring. Most kids are. If you're a bit older and you're getting to my age, you know, you're in your late 40s, or if you're going into your 50s or 60s, no problem with it. You know, it's probably going to be right up your tree at the end of the day, or something you want to do. This is something that's really good, because the staff will engage. There's things for you to do. You know, there's like one, and I think the classic one was, I think it was the first Jurassic Park film, and at the beginning, you know, they're doing a dig, and you see them, you know, a lot of the time with paleontologists, you know, they're using their like paint brushes, you know, to get away all the sand and dirt and everything, to show off, you know, the actual fossil. And they have things like that for kids to actually do, to actually learn what they actually do out in the field at the end of the day. So for something for kids, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. You know, I'm actually floating with the 10 out of 10. You know, it's not a massive thing. It is world renowned, this particular museum at Sandown. I'm not going to say it's an all day thing, because it simply isn't. Okay, it is not all day. It is open 7 days a week. You know, it's a type of thing which is probably maybe an hour or two. Okay, you could probably drag it out a bit longer if you wanted to. You know, they've got a nice shop there, you know, and if you're thinking, right, so I've burnt 2 hours, what am I going to do with the rest of the day? Which is what a lot of people are going to say. Simple answer. You got the Isle of Wight animal sanctuary, what, about 400 to 800 meters up the road, which is slightly more expensive, but they do have, I think it's brown bears there, they've got tigers there, different forms of monkeys there as well. You know, you got all your lizards and everything, and obviously that's an animal sanctuary. Okay, so there is that, and then obviously you do have the Sandown village. So there are things to do, and if it's like most kids, there's also a sandy beach right there as well. You just cross the road and you've got your sandy beach at the end of the day. So there are things around that you are able to do. Okay, so if you do want something to do with the kids, this this is one I would recommend. And I know a lot of people are going to say, what on earth, Kevin, has this got to do with forms of migration? And this is a simple answer to the question. Dinosaurs moved around. Okay, so that's my answer to the question. That's my spin on it. Okay, so if you want something to do and you're on the Isle of Wight and you want to burn a couple of hours, I highly recommend it. It's not very expensive. I think it's about £10 to get in, so it is relatively cheap as well. So go and go down there and take a look. You will enjoy it, I do promise you that. Okay, but for now, thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed the video, please do give us a like and subscribe, and please do share the video as well. I would appreciate it. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.